Hello all, welcome back. So today we will see some important interview questions and answers which are related to Maven. So if you are going to appear for a QA interview, QA round, maybe a automation tester as a QA, then definitely expect that they will ask you some questions around Maven. So I have compiled a list of around 16 questions which you can go through before your interview, and it will help you to clear your interview regarding the Maven aspect. So once I record this video, I will also attach this document in the description, so you can have it handy, and whenever you have the interview, just try to go through it or revise it once. Okay, so let's start. So question number one: what is Maven and why it is used? So let's see. So Maven is a build automation and project management tool used primarily for Java projects, and it helps in managing dependencies, building and packaging the code, running tests, and generating reports. So this is a kind of a high level definition why we use Maven. So it's a build automation tool, and it basically helps in managing dependencies. So let me open up my Eclipse. Let me go to any project. So as you can see, this is one of my projects, and this is a Maven project, right? So what happens is that in Maven we have something called pom.xml. So if I double click and open it, you can see that these are the details of pom.xml, and here we have something called dependencies. So these dependencies are nothing but like what things are recorded in the project. Like we need Selenium, okay, we need TestNG. So these things we can add it as a dependency, and what Maven will do, it will get these dependencies from the repository, from the internet, and it will download it into your local system. So you can see we have a folder called Maven dependencies. If I expand it, all the dependencies will get downloaded easily. So this is the advantage of using Maven. So let's say if we don't use Maven, then we have to manually get all these dependencies, all these jar files. We have to search the internet, get these jar files, and then basically add these jar files into the project. So that will be a very hectic task, and that we need to avoid. So that's the main reason of using Maven as a QA. So let's go through this one. So it's a build automation tool, okay, and used for Java projects, okay. Selenium Java, we use Maven with it, and it helps in managing dependencies. So this is the most important thing, helps in managing dependencies, and these are the other things which are generally required by the developer, like building and packaging the project, and also running test. We can run all the tests using Maven, and it will also help in generating some reports. So this is one of the questions. Let's go to the second question. What is POM file in Maven? As I already explained you, I opened one of the projects. Here we have a pom.xml. So what is this particular file? Let's see. So pom.xml, first understand what is the full form of pom.xml, right? So pom means project object model. So when you will say pom in Maven terms, it means project object model. Just remember, don't get confused with pom in Selenium. So in Selenium, pom means project page object model, which is a design pattern of Selenium framework. But in terms of Maven, POM stands for project object model, okay. And what does that file contain? It's a XML file, right? So this is a XML file, and what it contains, it contains various plugins. You can see over here we have various plugins, we have various dependencies. So these are the things which the file will contain. Let's see. It contains configuration details like project name. We can see we have the, what is that, we have the project name, artifact ID, these things. We have the version, you can see the version, okay, dependencies and plugins, build profiles, and much more. So this is the main heart of Maven project. So just try to have this. They will definitely ask you what is POM file in Maven. So just go through it and try to answer it in this way. Next thing, what are Maven coordinates? So Maven coordinates uniquely identify a project artifact. So you can see in my over here, right, in my work section, there are a lot of projects. So to uniquely identify these projects individually, we define something called Maven coordinates. And Maven coordinates basically has three things. First is a group ID, okay, then we have the artifact ID, and then we have the version. So let's see what is group ID. It's nothing but understand it as a company or project group. Let's say you work for Infosys or you work for Accenture, then group ID can be just the company name, right? Like ABC company. Got it? And then we have something called artifact ID. So this is the name of the project basically on which you are working. Let's say, for example, it's a Selenium Java project, or you can also say that it's a user enrollment project on which you are working. So that can be the artifact ID. And version, generally we leave it as a default, but you can specify what version of the project you are using. So I will just quickly what I will do, I will create a Maven project and I will just showcase you where these things pop up. Okay, so let me go through. This is the Eclipse ID basically which I am using, and let me go to File, click on New, click on Project, and here you will get an option in Maven folder which is a Maven project. Then click on Next. Okay, this type of a window will appear. Here you just have to click this one, create a simple project. We don't want any complicated project, so we checked on this one. We just need a basic simple project. This is what we generally do in the in our project as well. So just check this, click on Next. Okay, now you see we got all the things. Group ID, right? You can see over here group ID, artifact ID, and version. So these three things we need to populate. This is a default. Don't we generally don't change it, but you can provide any version what you need. But let's say the group ID, let's say this is my demo, let's say some ABC company. Okay, and the artifact ID is a demo project. Okay, we provided these two values. I have kept it as a default whatever it is, and then click on finish. Once we do that, you can see the project structure got created, demo project over here. Okay, demo project, and you can see it has a main, source main Java, source main resources, test Java, test resources, all the Java libraries, and this pom.xml. Okay, so this is a basic pom.xml. We need to add a lot of dependencies over here in order to build the project. So this is what are the Maven coordinates. So just remember what these terms stand for and what is a Maven coordinate. Okay, next question. How do you run test cases using Maven? Okay, so there is one thing, like there are two things. Let me go to one of the projects. So let's say this is one of my projects. Okay, if I expand it, I will get pom.xml. So in order to run the test cases, if you go to test Java, you can see we have a lot of test cases defined over here. In order to run these particular test cases, what we need to do, we need to go to pom.xml, right click, and you can say run as Maven test. So this will run the test cases, start the execution of the test cases. This is one way. And another approach is we need to, what we can do, we need to go to the command prompt. So we will just select the project, we will right click, go to properties. Here you will get a path of the project. So just click on this icon. Okay, so here we went to the project folders. This is our project. Just double click on this, and here in the header you can just click over here and write cmd, which will open the command prompt in this location. So now you can see the command prompt is opened in this location. Now you can just fire this command, mvn clean test. So once you hit enter, all the test cases will get executed. So this is the statement which is written over here. How do you run test cases using Maven? I will just modify it from command line, right? So we will have to use Maven clean test. Okay. Okay, next question. What is a Maven lifecycle? Okay, so this is also one of the frequently asked questions. So Maven is a build automation tool, so it will have some lifecycle, so that you need to explain. So it's simple. Maven lifecycle is a series of ordered phases that define the steps to build and manage a project. So basically when we will kind of build the project, or we will, let's say, execute the test cases using Maven, a series of steps will get executed. So those series of steps are nothing but the Maven lifecycle. So just explain it in that manner. Going to next question. How do you add dependencies in Maven? So I think it's a simple. What we need to do, we need to go to the pom.xml and we have to add all the dependencies inside this dependencies tag. So let me open a project. I think this is the project, demo project, which I created, right? Go over here, pom.xml. See, currently it does not have dependencies. So just click over here at after the version tag, just click over here, hit enter, just open this brace and write dependencies. Okay, just select this, so it will bring up the section for dependencies. Now we can add whatever dependency we need. So let's say I want to add, what is that, let's say I want to add Selenium over here. So one thing is that we can just go to, just a second, just go to Chrome. I will search for Maven dependencies. This is a Maven central repository. Just click over here. Okay, and let's see, I need Selenium Java. Just provide over here, click on search. It will give you a lot of results. Just go to the most used one and just click over here, Selenium Java. Okay, and now you have all the versions available over here. So let's pick up some recent one. I will go for 4.33.0. just click over here. Okay, and now this is the dependency which we need to add. So just click over here, it is already copied, it got copied. Now go over to your project and just paste it. Done. And Control Shift F to format the things and just save it. This is how we added the dependencies. So Selenium dependencies, Selenium Java dependencies got added in this particular project. You can see the thing over here. It is building as a 20%, right? So it is getting all the jar files, and once it is done, like 100%, we will have all the dependencies in place. So this is how we add the dependencies. Okay, where it went. Okay, so how do we add dependencies? It's clear. It's added in the pom.xml inside dependencies tag. Okay, now this is also one of the important questions. What is the difference between local and central Maven repository? So local is nothing but whatever files Maven will install and it will store in your system. So that are called a local repository. And central Maven repository is hosted on the internet. Like what I showed you, I went over here. This is the central Maven repository. You can search for anything and you can get the dependency. So this is hosted on the internet and it's not available locally to your system. So that's the main difference. So let's check. So local is nothing but located in your machine. Okay, all the dependencies will be installed and saved in your machine, and they will ask you like, can you show in your machine where are those local dependencies saved? So it is always present in .m2 repository. So for me it is this particular path. So I will just copy it and I will just go over to this path and I open it, and you can see in this particular location it can be different for your case, but it will be .m2 repository. You can see .m2, we have a folder called repository. Just double click on it and you will see all the dependencies, whatever you used for Maven is stored locally into your system under this particular path. Okay, so this is a local repository. Why local? Because it is basically local, or it's just installed in your laptop or on your desktop, right? And central Maven repository, we already saw, it's a official Maven repository, and this is the link for it. Either you can search from this link or you can just click over here, just search Maven central repository. The first link is the one we are using and it's the same. You can see mavenrepository.com repos central, same. And here you can search for whatever you need in Maven and get it. So this is a central repository. Okay, next question. What are Maven plugins? Give an example. Let's see. So plugins are used to extend Maven functionality. So you already know, like in Google we install various extensions or plugins, so that is used to extend the functionality of Google browsing, right? So in the same way, in Maven we use certain plugins so that the functionality of Maven or the use case of Maven can be increased. So it's the simple definition of plugin. Plugins are used to extend Maven functionality. And here is a simple example like Surefire plugin. So there is a plugin called Surefire plugin, and it is used to run test cases, right? So if we want to run the test cases from pom.xml instead of testng.xml, then we will use this particular plugin. So I will just open one of the projects. Okay, let's go to this project, and you can see that generally we run the test cases from this particular part, testng.xml. So this XML has all the details of what test cases we need to run and those things. So what we generally do, we just go to TestNG and we just click on run as TestNG suite, and it will run the test cases. But let's say if you want to run the test cases from pom.xml, then here we need to have some plugins. So you can see from this section to up to this section we have the plugins installed. So basically two plugins, one is a Maven compiler plugin which we have installed, and one is a Maven Surefire plugin. So once you install these two plugins, right, click on save the project, then you can just directly go to this pom.xml, run as, and then you can basically run the Maven test from here itself. So these are the plugins. Just paste it over here. I think it's already there. So you can see there is a Maven compiler plugin and there is a Maven Surefire plugin. Okay, so just incorporate this into your pom.xml and you will be able to run your test cases from pom.xml. Okay, question number 9. How do you handle different environments in Maven? Okay, let's say you have a project and you need to test that project in different environments. Let's say QA, dev and prod. So how you will do in Maven? So here we have a concept of profiles in Maven. So using profiles, basically we can execute our script in various environments. So let's see. So we handle different environments in Maven using Maven profiles defined in pom.xml. Each profile can have its own configuration like base URL or browser type. So profile is a section we define in pom.xml, and you can see there are 3 profiles which are defined under this particular section, and those profiles can have different values for URL. So basically if I this is an example sample pom.xml with profiles, so just I will go through it. What you can see, this is the first profile and you can see the ID is dev. So this is a dev environment profile, and for it the URL is set as this particular value, which is a dev.example.com, right? Then this is the second profile, which is a QA profile, and here you can see the URL is quite different. We have qa.example.com, right, for a QA environment. And next we have a prod profile, and you can see the URL is again different for the prod environment, which is prod.example.com. So this defines the 3 profiles basically, right? Dev, QA and prod. So now how you can basically, what we need to change in our code to use these profiles, it's simple. We will just use system.getProperty and we will call the environment URL. So this will fetch the environment URL from these sections, right, whatever is called. So what we are doing in the code, we are basically storing the base URL and we are getting it from environment URL, which is defined under the profile section. And now we can directly use driver.get base URL. So it will launch that particular URL. And how Maven will know which particular profile we need to choose? So for that we have to use the command line of execution and provide these particular commands. So if we say mvn clean test -pqa, it means it will run the test and it will pick the profile for QA. So what will happen? It will go to the profile section. It will identify where is QA. So this is dev. It will not pick this. This is QA. Okay, so it will identify this is QA, and it will get this particular URL, right? This particular URL it will fetch. And now what will happen? So in our code, the base URL will be set to that value, and the application will get launched as a QA profile, as a QA environment, right? Similarly, if we run this command mvn clean test -p dev, so basically Maven will identify that this is a dev profile, so it will go to the dev part, this particular ID, it will get this particular URL, and the application will be launched on the dev URL. Similarly, the things will happen if we fire mvn clean test -p production. Okay, so this is the concept of profiles in Maven, and basically how we trigger different profiles from command line. Okay, next question. How do you integrate TestNG with Maven? So simple, nothing much complicated. You can add the TestNG dependency in pom.xml. So this is one of the dependencies of TestNG. Let's say I copy this. Just go to your project where you need to add this dependency, and let's say this was our project, demo project. So I will just open the pom.xml, and over here in dependencies we already have the Selenium dependency. We will just hit enter and just paste the TestNG and click on save. You can see again it's building and it's completed. So we got the dependency for TestNG. So we can quickly check it. We can go to Maven dependencies folder, expand this, and we will be able to see the TestNG jars and those things. So it is already, it got installed. So it is that easy with Maven. Okay, next question number 11. What happens when you run mvn clean install? Okay, so this is one of the what you can say command. So if you just trigger this mvn clean install in command prompt, what will happen? So first it will clean the target directory, right? So I will just show you. So if I go to any project, let me open some old project. Okay, over here you can see we have a folder called target. If you open it, it will have a lot of folders. So these folders got generated from previous running of this project. So let's say we run this project once, some folders will get generated in this path. So what Maven will do, so Maven clean install will do, first it will clean the target directory. It will go and it will delete all the what you can say all the folders from here, so that we have a fresh structure for the project. Then it will compile the source code. Then you can see here we have the source code. It will compile whatever Java coding we have written at this level, and then it will run the test. You can see we have a test section. It will go over here and run all the test cases present, and then it will package the project as a jar or war file, and at the last it will install your project into your local M2 repository, which we already saw. So these things will happen if you run mvn clean install. Okay, state some phases in the default lifecycle QA relevant. Okay, so these are some of the Maven phases which are important from a QA perspective. So I have gathered those particular phases and what they actually do or what they actually mean. So just go through these particular definitions, because you can expect some questions from here. So let's see one by one. There is a one phase called validate. What it does, it validates the pom.xml file. So basically it will check whether the pom.xml file, right, it is correct, it is not having any errors and those things. So this is what the function of validate is. Now we will have compile. So compile, it compiles the source code. So you can see whatever we have over here in source main Java, it compiles those codes over there. Then we have test compile. So it compiles the test code. So test compile, what it will do, it will go over in this folder source test Java, and it will compile all the Java codes which you have written over here. test. So this will run your automated test. So it can be anything, unit test, integration test, anything, but test basically helps to run the test cases. So we have these test cases defined. So Maven test will help to execute these test cases one by one. Package. So these are the main things which are used by QA, right? Validate, compile, test, compile and test. From here, these things are important from a developer perspective. So package is nothing but it will kind of compile the project and package it into a jar war file, right? Verify will verify that the project or the package which we created, it is kind of a valid, it is not having any errors. So it will do some custom checks. Install, this will install the package as a build into your local M2 repository. Okay, deploy will deploy the build to any remote repository, maybe Git, so that you can integrate it with CI/CD pipelines. Okay, so these from these over here, these things are more of a DevOps engineer or a QA or a development perspective. So not much used as a QA. Oh, now let's go to the next question. What is the typical Maven command used for QA testing? So it's simple, Maven clean test. As I already showed you, like if we need to run this particular project, right, from Maven, we can just go to properties, go to the project, double click on the project. Over here, hit command prompt will get opened, and you can just write mvn clean test, hit enter, and will start executing the test cases. Okay, next question. What happens when you run mvn clean install? Okay, so this is also one command. So let's see what will happen if we run mvn clean install. So these things will be executed in order. First, clean, it will clear the previous build. So basically what will happen, as already stated, we have a target folder. So okay, this execution started. I will just halt it for now. Okay, so let's go to the question. What happens when you run mvn clean install? So first, clean will clear the previous build. So in the target section, whatever the previous build folders will be generated, it will just delete those things. And then what install will do, it will execute these things in order. So it will validate, it will compile, it will test, it will package, and then it will install basically the package. So these two processes will get activated by punching this particular command. And one thing, each phase automatically executes all prior phases, and so these phases are interlinked. Once a validate is completed, then only compile will take place. Once compile is done, then only testing will take place. So like this. So these are executed in phase. Next question. Explain the command mvn clean test -p QA. So in the interviews, they will just maybe ping you this on Teams, and they will ask you, please explain this. So now it's quite clear what this mvn clean test -p QA will do. So first, it will clean the project, right? It will delete the folders in the target directory, this clean functionality. Then the code will be compiled, right? Then the automation test will be executed. It will run the automated test. And PQA, this is a profile selection. So basically it will use the QA profile defined in your Maven profile section. So it will go over into the QA profile, and from there it will collect the things like what URL we need to launch and those things, and based on that all the test cases will be executed. So just cross check this particular thing, do some hands-on on this. And one question, like how you can check Maven version installed on your system. Okay, let's say you are using Maven is installed on your system. So how you can quickly check the version? So it's simple, you can open the command prompt and execute Maven -- version, and it will just provide you what is the version of Maven installed. So for me it's Apache Maven 3.8.6. So you can just go over here, state, open the command prompt and say mvn hyphen hyphen version. You will get the version of Maven. Okay, so these are the questions which are around 16 questions I have framed, which are frequently asked. So please go through it before going for that automation round, and please like this video, subscribe my channel and support me. I need to build the QA community, and also maybe please provide some comments what further questions we need to include into this particular document, so that we can have this thing handy before going for any question, any interview rounds. So thanks a lot. Thanks for attending this video. Bye.